The average prawn farm discharges between 12 and 30 megalitres of effluent a day, and the nutrients in this come largely from the artificial feeds used to grow the prawns. As the industry expands, so does the amount of effluent. Over the past 5 years, the aquaculture industry in Australia has doubled in value to be worth more than $600 million a year, making it one of the few primary industries to experience consistent growth. But with this comes a challenge to be more environmentally sustainable, and a lot of research is now being carried out to help the industry clean up its act. For prawn farmers, that means looking for better ways to treat effluent, rather than the commonly used settlement ponds.
Well, it's clear the ultimate goal of our farming associations and of our state and federal agencies is to achieve minimal or zero environmental disturbance through aquaculture operations. And we're all striving towards those goals. There is a need to develop some new technologies to achieve those goals. But I think there is a clear consensus this is the direction we're all heading.
The DPI has set up a trial site here at Peter Spindler's farm, experimenting with the use of mullet to deal with the effluent. The beauty of mullet is it's a very tolerant fish, capable of ingesting high concentrations of nutrients.
Here's our system without fish. This system is taking effluent water from the farm, and you can see that the nutrients in the water are fostering a growth of algae. That's okay if we can harvest the algae profitably, and there are challenges there. If we don't harvest the algae during the course of production, it dies and re-releases the nutrients back into the water, so we end up with high levels of discharge with nutrients. And the work we're doing here is to find a way to remove this algae as it's growing, and thereby removing the nutrients in a way we hope is profitable. And that's where the finfish come in.
The mullet have been at work in this tank, and as you can see, they've eaten the algae.
We're very excited about the potential of mullet. I think we underestimate the poor mullet in Australia. Internationally, it's considered a rather high-value fish. The rove indeed is a high-value product in the Mediterranean, worth about $100 a kilo. So perhaps we've underestimated the value of mullet in its own right, but our hope, our plan is a minimum of cost recovery using the mullet, even if it is sold for a modest amount. We hope there is sufficient to recover the cost of the infrastructure.
Well, mullet is going to be a learning curve. We're finding now from over the years through observation that the mullet are cleaning up our heavies and also helping to repair our waters.
Murray Zip has trialled mullet and has noticed some difference, but he approaches the idea with more caution.
Probably not mullet because it's such a low value species, but this is just a stepping stone of very infant technology in water treatment. But with time to come we might find a more valuable species. But again, at the end of the day, if we find that mullet is what achieves the result of reducing nitrogen discharges into the bay, well then that'll be what we do, because that'll be what we have to do in order to continue to operate according to our EPA licence restrictions.
While seeking ways to clean up their act, many in the aquaculture industry feel they're being unfairly portrayed as environmental troublemakers. They say the nutrients from farm effluent contribute only minimally to a much wider problem.
We're dependent on the water quality that is in the surrounding bays and estuaries where we pump our water from. And for us to go and pollute the water or the bays where we draw our water from is a problem that we're creating a vein for our own back. We've been implementing over the years settlement ponds and recirculating systems, and as the technology now is improving further and further, with work which we've done with CSRO and DPI, where we hopefully will get to a stage where we'll be down to zero discharges.
But clearly the industry has to be cleaner before it can be bigger, and the use of mullet may be one viable way of achieving this. No doubt more solutions will emerge from our government research institutions. A more sustainable aquaculture industry has enormous potential in this country, and it could eventually rival some of our biggest primary industries. Right now we account for only 1% of the global aquaculture output. With diminishing wild stocks, demand will only continue to grow, and Australia is in the perfect position to capitalise.
So from a social perspective, from a new wealth generating perspective, or how to generate new wealth, and the benefits that that brings, I think we can use the word revolution.